This is a relocation exercise for red level orienteers. I'll describe this exercise with orienteer A and orienteer B. And there are two ways to do this exercise. These are the maps that you might give each of the partners. So in one example, in one method of running this exercise, orienteer A will just be running with orienteer B following. So B is not looking at the map, and A will drop B somewhere in the circle, at which time B will have to start looking at the map and then relocate. And they might relocate by running just out in some safety direction and then coming back in. Or they might look around for the biggest features they can see, and maybe they find this hill here, and then they find the control. And it's good to test both of those two different ways of finding the control, the bail out and the find something significant. The other way to run this exercise is for B to take the lead off the start and to navigate at a really high speed, but precisely. So they've got a bit of pressure now in this version of the exercise, and B would get this control, but A would be following and not looking at the map. And then when they get to the control, B will hand over the reins to A, who won't know where they are. But A knows that they have to get down to this control number 2. So the relocation strategy is a bit different, because you don't really need to know exactly where you are to find number 2. At some stage you do, but you can just head due south and then relocate off the track. So it produces a bit more of a relocation on the fly type scenario. So both of those ways to run the exercise are good. The maps pretty much look the same, but the roles are reversed. And success in this exercise is when the orienteer, when they're dropped off, can make an educated guess as to what would be the best strategy, either to bail out to a track. So say they get dropped here, they just know they're in some big flat area. They don't really know which big flat area they're in, but they can make an educated guess about whether it might be reasonable to run out to a track based on how far the tracks could possibly be. And they can also take a look around them and see, well, if they're standing here, they're looking around, they can't see anything significant. It's all pretty flat, and maybe there's some little hills, but they're also similar looking. It could be anywhere. So they then have to weigh up, well, am I going to be able to relocate off this little detail, or am I going to be able to bail out and then come back in faster? So that's what success looks like, someone making an informed, educated guess about whether to bail out or whether they can find something significant to relocate off. This is a very good exercise to do in detailed sand dunes. It's a little bit harder to do in hillier terrain because there tends to be less similar features, and bailing out it doesn't have the same trade-off compared to in sand dunes, where you've got two really hard options of a long distance to a track, or really impossible to find significant features with all these repetitive contours.